Alright everyone, a suggestion has been made for a fourth presidential debate moderated by none other than Joe Rogan. I'm assuming it'd be a Spotify exclusive between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Normally this would just be like something to chuckle at, but Trump has actually accepted the concept. He's officially accepted the idea, and keep in mind, and this is what Biden is going to look bad in this, because they're not going to let him do this. The proposal is for a 4-hour debate. Joe Biden will be lucky if he makes it through the 2-hour debates, the normal ones. I don't think that he will without making at least a large number of small mistakes and gaffes, going off the rails and saying weird shit. I expect that fully. He will score a monumental victory if he manages to last 3 debates without a major gaffe, which could sink his presidential aspirations. He's not going to say yes. It looks really bad, though, because Joe Rogan is arguably somewhat left-leaning. He's one of those libertarian socialist, so to speak, figures. A little bit. He just wants to smoke weed. He has no problem with social welfare. He's not like an anti-gunner or something. He's reasonably sane. I don't agree with him on every issue, but he's reasonably sane. And he's certainly not a hefty partisan. He actually endorsed Bernie Sanders. Now keep in mind, he endorsed Bernie and Bernie endorsed Biden. Biden should say yes to this. He's got a sympathetic moderator for the debate. Trump has said yes. All he has to do is say, okay, yeah, I'll go on your podcast for 4 hours and spar with Trump. And I trust you to be, reasonably moderate and not biased in your views because you endorsed a dude who literally endorsed me. You've criticized Trump openly multiple times. What does Biden have to lose? There's the problem. Joe Biden is fundamentally physically not able to go 4 hours in a debate. He'll be lucky to go 2 in the normal debate structure. It will never happen. But Trump said yes. Trump's willing to. Doesn't this show a little bit of a stark contrast between these two? And by the way, it'd be the most highly rated debate of the season. Certainly, there'd be many more people viewing the Joe Rogan moderated debate than the crap with the what's his name from Fox News or something like that. It's gonna be a bore fest. It's just going to be a bunch of softballs tossed at Biden and then talking over Donald Trump over and over again. It's not going to, the normal debates are going to be massively lopsided. Trump will be kneecapped. He'll be fighting with an arm tied behind his back against a demented opponent who will have to be shielded nonstop during these 3 debates. Joe Rogan, and this is why Biden probably won't accept, probably wouldn't do that. He'd sit there and raise an eyebrow and he'd be smoking weed the entire time. It'd be very interesting to have the first presidential debate in which somebody lights up a joint. That's probably what would happen. I don't think Joe Rogan could go 4 hours without a spliff or something. He'd be grabbing the bong, and you'd hear that. When he's not on camera, you'd hear bubbling noises maybe. It'd be really funny. This would be great, though. It'd be great, by the way, for civics as well. If you want to get the youth out to vote and stuff like that, the Democrats are all about, whoa, you need to vote, you need to vote. Make it more exciting. They don't have the time to sit there for 2 hours watching someone they can never connect with, some multi-millionaire start shirt talking head from Fox or CNN or a legacy network. But most of them recognize Joe Rogan. It was funny to see. The Biden fans almost immediately had a nervous breakdown because they knew that this was strategic. And so they started talking about, well, Joe Rogan's a transphobe. He's a hateful person. No. Joe can't debate on his show. You'd be platforming hate. Oh, how funny that was. It's funny. Okay, transphobic, bigoted, far-right and hateful. Then why did he endorse Bernie Sanders, of all people? Gaslighting much? Oh, this was really funny. I think that Biden should say yes. Again, he's got a dude who, politically is arguably in some ways closer to him than he would be to Donald Trump, has been very critical of Trump over the last couple of years. What the fuck? Why would you say no to that? Unless you're incapable of debating. Unless you've got Alzheimer's. Unless you're going to need an earpiece in order to function at the normal debates. I have no doubt that there will be an extra little thing in his ear that he will claim is a hearing aid that won't actually be a hearing aid. Even then, I expect Biden to fuck up at least one of the 3 debates. I expect him to crash and burn and destroy his presidential aspirations. If Trump really is riding on 45 right now, he'll be at 46.5 by the end of the 3rd debate without any organic poll movement whatsoever. With the polling differential that I believe strongly exists, if I base it on 2016 metrics and look at the enthusiasm differential, Trump's already fucking got the election. Yeah, people just don't see it because they're too stuck up, they're too caught up in cherry-picked poll numbers that they got from MSNBC. But Joe Rogan would be a good moderator. He's capable of holding long conversations. Number one, being interesting. Number two, he doesn't crucify his guests. Number three, he's capable of asking hard-hitting questions, but he doesn't get assholish about it. Again, I don't even like the fact that Joe Rogan tacitly at some point isn't really coming out against censorship that could negatively impact him has rankled me. Some of Joe Rogan's views honestly have rankled me. But he is a fair moderator. Potentially, why shouldn't he get a chance? Why does it always have to be someone from a legacy network? Why does it always have to be someone from CNN, Fox, MSNBC, one of the big cable networks? Nobody watches cable anymore. Joe Rogan's got more of an audience than most of the pundits on those networks anyway. Why shouldn't the tech world have a slice of the pie in debates? It's like when they have the RNC. I suggested that the RNC should only stream through like people like, they should have Andy Ngo and Tim Pool and a few others there streaming to their audiences and use that as their platform. That's what I argue. Independent content creation is where it's at. It's much lower cost. It's an opportunity for the political structure to engage with a younger audience, to increase civic awareness, to make politics a little bit less boring. Because in honesty, to younger crowds, 99% of them, they consider it boring. You want more people to vote, take civic action, run for office, understand our history, our rights stuff. Get them involved. You're going to need to use the internet for that. You're not going to be able to use CNN. The CNN debate hosted by Megyn Kelly that we just hired or something. 10 people watching. That's what you're going to get. It was funny, like the DNC that did it bad early 2000s style fucking with 80s music video graphics at times. Mashup it fell flat. Nobody watched it. On cable, oh, 1 million people watched it. Yeah, okay, so it was about the same as a 10-year-old rerun of Oprah, something like that. Yeah, Biden should say yes, but I have a feeling he's not. I have a feeling they'll just ignore it. I have a feeling that they'll sit there sweating nervously, hoping that it doesn't stay in the public consciousness too long. By the way, people out there, you should definitely talk profusely about this. Make it trend on Twitter. Force them to make a response. And let's troll Joe Biden and see how fucking funny it'll be. See how many times they can echo transphobe. And when they do, point out that Joe Rogan was a Bernie fan. And it'll be extra funny because all those people will be leftists and they'll be like totally trying to gaslight. They'll just get ass blasted. That's about all. Peace out.